get the hell out of Indy because it makes all the sense. Now, Caitlin Clark took the Instagram moments ago to drop these with the purple demon emoji and purple heart. What team colors are purple? And that's just all I'm going to say. What team colors are purple? And this is the second time she didn't put another team color shoes. Last time she did it when she was in LA. Now, I don't believe she's going to play tonight because it's a back-to-back. I just do not believe that is the case. But I'm telling you right now, Caitlin Clark ain't just dropping different shoes.
Caitlin Clark is once again the center of attention. She put up a career night, posting a WNBA record 45 points and 10 assists in a single outing. That performance appears to be just the start of something bigger, since activity on her Instagram has picked up noticeably. Observers note that Clark isn't simply releasing new sneaker colorways for the sake of variety. Many believe there's a hidden message being sent to her supporters. This comes amid ongoing turbulence surrounding the Indiana Fever organization, including tension tied to head coach Stephanie White and disputes over playing time limits. Speculation has grown that Clark could depart the franchise once the season concludes. Fueling that theory is a recent Instagram post showing a pair of shoes paired with a purple devil emoji and a purple heart, a color scheme that doesn't match Indiana's franchise colors. Notably, this marks the second occasion she's showcased footwear tied to a color outside her own team's palette, the first coming during a trip to Los Angeles. Given that the Fever are playing on a back-to-back, it's unlikely she suits up for the next contest. Still, the pattern behind these shoe reveals is seen as deliberate rather than random, and fans are being told not to be shocked if Clark ends up wearing a different jersey by season's end.
Right now, Caitlin Clark ain't just dropping different shoe colorways to just drop them. It's systematically, strategically being dropped, bro. And do not be surprised. Do not be surprised. Conclusion of the season, if we see Caitlin Clark in the new uniform, bro. And that's just all I'm going to say. Now, Caitlin Clark had a mega press conference immediately after the game last night. I would have reported on this last night, but I was just so, Caitlin high after the game, I should say. And I just want what the world was going to say. And
Following her historic outing, Clark sat down for an extensive media session after the game. Coverage of her comments was delayed briefly to gauge public reaction first, specifically to see whether Fever general manager Amber Cox would weigh in publicly. As it turns out, Cox has stayed silent, with her most recent public post dating back to July 10th, referencing guard Kelsey Mitchell. Meanwhile, Clark's night included 3 separate milestones: becoming the fastest player in league history to reach 2,000 career points, and recording a 45-point, 10-assist stat line unmatched by any other WNBA player. Despite the historic performance, the front office has offered no public comment. With that context established, attention turns to what Clark said in her post-game remarks.
And let's see if Amber Cox said anything. Because I don't know if Amber Cox said anything. Maybe she did, But let's see. Because Caitlin Clark kicked ass and took names. And just like I told you, Amber Cox, she ain't said nothing. She ain't said nothing. Last time she tweeted was on July 10th, and that was about Kelsey Mitchell. Caitlin Clark had history last night in 3 different places. She was the fastest player to score 203-pointer in points.
In-arena stats highlighted during the broadcast. Clark set the franchise record for points in a single game with 45, delivered in just 29 minutes of play. It marked the first ever 40-point, 10-assist game in WNBA history. She also became the fastest player to reach 200 made three-pointers, and posted the 4th most point-assist double-doubles in league history. Additionally, though not read on air, she passed a teammate for 5th most made threes in franchise history. Another player, referred to as KK, recorded the 3rd most offensive rebounds in a single game in team history. Combined, Clark and teammate Kelsey Mitchell scored 75 points, the highest combined total by 2 teammates in franchise history.
To score 203-pointer in points, and she had a 45-10 stat line. No other WNBA player did that. Amber Cox ain't said nothing at all. You just synced it. Now, with that being said, Caitlin Clark did not hold back in this damn press conference. She had a lot to say. We finna react to it. Let's roll.
Caitlin Clark, most points in a single game in franchise history, 45 points in 29 minutes. The first ever 40-point 10-assist game in WNBA history. She became the fastest player in WNBA history to 200 three-pointers made.
Asked how the game felt, Clark explained that some nights she simply senses beforehand that things will click, even though she'd been working her way back into rhythm after missing time due to injury. She said she viewed the matchup as a chance to be aggressive early, especially with a key teammate, AB, sidelined. She credited her ability to get to the free throw line often, noting the defense struggled overall, but that the team fought back from a deficit late in the game. She also praised teammate KK for stepping up.
Pointers made. Fourth most point assist double-doubles in WNBA history. This one didn't get read, but passes Tully for fifth most threes in franchise history.
Oh, sorry, Toll.
KK, third most offensive rebounds in a single game in franchise history. And Caitlin and Kelsey combined for the most points in franchise history at 75 points between the two of them. So lots of fun stats tonight. So with that, I will turn it over to Tony.
Caitlin, how did this game feel for you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel...
When asked how she recognized early that it would be a big night, Clark said belief and visualization play a major role. You have to trust the work you've put in, even when shots aren't falling, and stay locked in mentally regardless of outside noise. Asked to break down a specific late-game sequence where the score was tied, Clark described a broken designed play that turned into a fast, improvised move, chasing down a loose ball after a deflection, pushing the pace to prevent the defense from setting up, and eventually creating enough space for a step-back shot that went in.
Caitlin, how did this game feel for you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like some nights, like, you know, you have it, and, like, even before the ball tips, and I felt like it was going to be one of those for me, obviously, like, struggled a little bit getting back into the groove after missing a couple weeks, so, you know, thought this was, like, a good opportunity for me to come out and be aggressive early, and also I knew my team needed that, especially with AB out, so, like, I knew that I had to step up to, you know, the challenge, and, you know, was able to get to the free throw line a lot, and it's easy to see the ball go through, was able to draw some fouls, and, obviously, our defense was pretty embarrassing, but you got to give us credit for the way we were able to fight. I think we were down.
On the defensive side, Clark finished with 4 steals and 2 blocks. She acknowledged there was room for improvement, particularly in the first half, when opposing guards were able to penetrate more easily. She praised her teammate AB's defensive anchoring and communication, noting how much the team missed that presence, though several players stepped up in her absence. Clark noted the team's defense tightened up, most notably in the fourth quarter.
You got to give us credit for the way we were able to fight. I think we were down 8 with 4 minutes to go, or 6 with 4 minutes to go, something like that. And we always just kept finding a way, and just proud of our group. And obviously a lot of people stepped up in AB's absence, and obviously KK, you know, was incredible tonight too.
You said you could tell before the game started. Was there a moment or point in time where that happened? Did a specific thing happen? How did that feeling come for you?
I mean, I feel like, I don't know, like, I feel like you just have to believe you're going to have those type of nights, and you have to visualize.
A teammate was asked what it's like watching Clark operate at such a high level, praising her signature long-range shooting, ability to create her own shot, and the trust the whole roster has in her, plus her willingness to set screens and put in work for teammates.
To believe you're going to have those type of nights, and you have to visualize having those type of nights, and I feel like that's what I did, and you know, it's not always going to go your way. Sometimes there's going to be, you know, a stretch where you're, you know, the ball's not going through the rim, and you can't get discouraged. And I know all the time in the work that I've put in, and people believe in me, and I, more than anything, I believe in myself. And you know, you just got to dig your feet in a little bit, and you know, when it's not going your way, nobody cares. Like, find a way to make it better, and find a way to help your team win and make this team better. And I feel like that's what I always try to do.
Asked about finding her offensive rhythm again after battling injury, Clark said she stayed aggressive even after a slow shooting start, kept attacking, and used her body to draw contact and get to the line, particularly in the second quarter. She expressed pride in cutting down turnovers in the second half after struggling with ball security early, calling it a key factor in the win. She acknowledged how difficult it is returning from injury and finding form again, while noting the team faces another tough matchup soon.
Top 3 funnest games, and look, do you know how long I've been waiting to say that? We had one of the funnest games we have ever witnessed tonight. And I don't know if you guys noticed, run, run, run. Be aggressive. Let Caitlin Clark be a playmaker. Caitlin Clark just set records tonight. Set records. By the way, I guess I got to be the one to say it. Noah Lee of Boston, this team was a lot.
Asked what's been fueling her recent stretch of strong play, Clark pointed to consistency, effort, and confidence, both her own belief in herself and the trust shown by teammates and coaching staff. A separate exchange focused on a teammate, referred to as Billings, who came up with a crucial block and the game-tying basket. Clark praised her effort against a tough frontcourt matchup, saying she stepped up in a difficult spot.
And this team was a lot faster tonight. This team was moving up and down the court. At first quarter, in the fourth quarter, it was nice. Players to record 40-plus points and 10 assists in a single WNBA game. 1. Caitlin Clark. That's the list. She's the only one to do it ever. Ever. Gotta be real, maybe that's the funnest game.
Clark was also asked about KK's first career start, describing it as a tough assignment against a fast, athletic opponent. She praised her teammates' work ethic, time spent with the team's player development staff, and called her one of the most athletically gifted players she's ever shared a court with, adding that her potential is still largely untapped.
Funnest game I've watched all year so far. Run, run, run. That was me at the end of the first damn quarter. At the end of the first quarter. Got the victory. 45 points for Caitlin Clark. 11 of 18, 6 of 10 from three-point range, 10 assists, 2 rebounds, 4 steals, and 2 blocked shots. Holy shit.
This was the matchup fans have wanted since the 2024 season, back when Caitlin Clark put together that stretch after the Olympic break during her rookie year where she nearly grabbed MVP honors. Tonight had that same feel. It marked a defining performance for Clark, and likely the first of several more to come. Among the most entertaining games of the season, if not the most entertaining, the pace tonight stood out immediately. The Fever were flying up and down the floor from the opening quarter straight through the fourth, and the aggressive, playmaking version of Clark was on full display from the jump.
Sheet. What a freaking stat line that is. Kelsey Mitchell threw in 30 points, but no assists, no blocks, no steals, 1 rebound. Yikes. I mean, dribble, shoot. But there was enough of the ball to go around tonight. Enough of the ball to go around tonight. This was an unbelievable performance. Franchise record 40.
Clark set new marks tonight. She became the only player in NBA history to record 40-plus points and 10 assists in a single game. The first and so far the only name on that list. The opening quarter alone had the broadcast booth buzzing, and the Fever carried that momentum to the final buzzer. The final line, 45 points on 11 of 18 shooting, 6 of 10 from three-point range, 10 assists, 2 rebounds, 4 steals, and 2 blocked shots. An outstanding stat sheet by any measure. Kelsey Mitchell added 30 points of her own, though without an assist, steal, or block, and with just 1 rebound. Still, there was plenty of offense to spread around the roster tonight.
His record 41 points. It's Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is officially got the Indiana Fever record for most points in a game ever. Ever. And that record is now 45 points. Right here, in only 74 games, Caitlin Clark has become the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 200 career three-pointers. By the way, I think she's got...
The outing was described as one of the most complete performances of the year, setting a new franchise scoring mark at 45 points, the most any Fever player has ever put up in a single contest. In just her 74th career game, Clark also became the fastest player in league history to hit 200 career three-pointers, reportedly finishing the night around 204 or 205 made threes, which now places her 5th on the franchise's all-time three-point list. At halftime alone, she had put up 19 points, 6 assists, and 3 steals.
By the way, I think she's got ended with 204 or 205. She may have hit one since they actually put this out. Caitlin Clark now ranks 5th in franchise history in three-pointers made. Hell, let me go look and make sure they haven't changed that graphic. Let me look. No, they haven't. Okay. So, wow. I mean, Caitlin Clark had 19 points in the first half, 6 assists, 3 steals. This was an
Covering this squad has not always been easy this season. There have been plenty of difficult nights to sit through. Tonight wasn't flawless either. One recurring critique aimed at head coach Stephanie White centered on closing lineups. The call was for White to trust Clark more in the final minutes of tight games, especially defensively, after Clark came up with a strong defensive stop late in the fourth quarter. The sequence marking her 200th three-pointer came off a steal, a push in transition, and a long pull-up from well beyond the arc that dropped through clean. Another deep three followed shortly after. Description had it as nearly a half-court heave that still found nothing but net. That shot brought her to 41 points on the night. Moments later, another drive, a step back, and a shot from well past the three-point line went down as well.
unbelievable freaking game. Guys, I got to tell you, at times it's been tough to cover this team this year. It's been hard. There's been some awful games to sit through. Now, it wasn't all rosy. Stephanie White has got to start, at the end of games, you've got to start leaving Caitlin Clark in these games. You have got to start showing some kind.
On the other side of the ball, Malonga finished with 28 points on 13 of 22 shooting, with a teammate adding 16 points. That Storm roster, if it gets healthy, was noted as having serious length and could be a tough matchup going forward. No one else in league history has managed a 40-point, 10-assist night, a feat Clark may repeat multiple times before her career is over. She knocked down 6 threes total and looked completely locked in throughout.
Start leaving Caitlin Clark in these games. You have got to start showing some kind of confidence in her. She made a hell of a defensive play in like the last 2 minutes. You've got to show confidence in Caitlin Clark on the floor during defensive crunch time. That was one of my major complaints tonight. Right here, Caitlin Clark becomes the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 203. This was the 203 right here. She grabbed that.
There was also a call to retire any talk of minutes restrictions going forward, with this labeled the best performance of Clark's season so far given the emotion and energy on display. One fan comment referenced back to a moment after Clark was left off the Olympic roster, when her head coach at the time stood in front of the media and said the snub had awoken a monster in her. Clark reportedly had a rough outing just days earlier, raising the question of whether that frustration fueled tonight's release. The team enters the night with a winning record despite what has been a difficult season overall. Clark's performance was framed as a statement to the rest of the league. Regardless of outside opinion, she's not going anywhere, and nights like this one could happen again at any time. She is expected to play again the following night.